What happened next after this was we do get our Renee Young segment.
Yep, backstage with John Cena, of course.
Yeah, and John Cena, goes on and on like he's looking forward to the match, getting his hands on Seth Rollins, and then Dean Ambrose appears, looking adorable and menacing.
This needs to be Dean Ambrose's gimmick. Like, I'm sold. Anytime somebody else who's relevant to him is giving an interview, he just needs to pop up out of the background somewhere and start talking to him like he's confrontational about something.
I bet he was a real pain in the neck for the yearbook club. He probably just photobombed everything. With that said, Cena does ask.
Such photobomb.
Yeah, just appears out of nowhere, yeah, and there you go. Oh man, Dean.
No. He wasn't that loud. He was super subtle about it. They would take the picture and they would be like, okay, that turned out well, and then they would print it out and it was just Ambrose's face in the foreground, and they would be like, how did he get there?
Yeah, how did he get there? Indeed. Cena asks Ambrose, of course, if he has anything to say, and of course that's when we get the great line. Rollins is mine, so just know your place. And then Cena says, well, if I get my hands on him, he's got a beatdown coming. And then Ambrose delivered that terrific line, nobody takes food off of my plate, not even you, Cena. So if the battle lines haven't been drawn yet, I would say that they've pretty much been drawn now. So
I don't know. I think that this was the first battle line, but I think the battle lines were a little bit crossed in the main event tonight.
Yeah, just a little bit. I can already tell that I'm going to be rallying so hard against Cena, but then again, it must be a day that ends in Y. I really have nothing else to say about this segment. Unless you have anything else to say, we can move on to the next thing.
Up next was AJ Lee versus Alicia Fox, and finally we get to a Divas segment that didn't involve Total Divas.
I know, right? Paige does come out, and as we expected, with AJ involved, a CM Punk chant did start.
Multiple times. It was obnoxious.
Multiple times. Yes, it was, because
we
he's never coming
get
back.
that he's your hometown hero, Chicago, but seriously, shut up.
Yeah, exactly. And Paige says she's found a new bestie.
Dude, I swear, this whole Chicago CM Punk thing is like when a guy beats a girlfriend and then she just keeps on saying, but I love him, I can't leave him, it's not that easy.
Yeah, it's that utter one-sided devotion.
Yeah, Punk left you. Stop acting like you owe him something. And more importantly, stop acting like chanting for him is going to make him come back. If anything, he's just going to be like, oh, they're chanting for me when my wife is in the ring? What a bunch of jerks.
Yeah, that's the way CM Punk's mind works. In fact, now that you mention it, I bet you he's just as annoyed by this as the rest of us are.
He probably is. He probably, you know what, though? I can't even say that because he probably doesn't even watch Raw anymore. He's probably just done with everything wrestling related, except for maybe making a random appearance at a Colt Cabana show just to cheap up for Colt.
Right. Yeah, because even hearing Heyman and stuff talk about it just seems like he's had total burnout from just the profession in general.
Yeah.
So I think you might not even be that far off the mark, dude. It's either to watch his wife or not watch at all and just support Colt Cabana at indie events. His second wife.
It's I can just imagine a comic strip where it's got the what fans think happens when AJ Lee goes home panel, and then it's hey hon, they were chanting for me again in when I had a segment tonight, and then Punk replies, oh really, they must really want me back, and then AJ's yeah, they totally do, you should come back, and then Punk's well, that does it, I'm signing the contract tomorrow, and then they have another panel that's what actually happens, and AJ goes home and she's just well, they chanted for you again tonight during my segment, and then Punk's just what a bunch of jerks. End scene.
Yes. Just like that. But the even more heartbreaking news here is, again, Paige has a new bestie.
Yep.
All of this mean girl stuff going on.
She's moved on from AJ because AJ moved on from her. See, this is how healthy relationships work.
Yeah, that is. Wow, the more I reflect on it, the more you might actually be onto something there. Even with their odd relationship, it seems healthier than most of the things we see today.
It's healthier than the relationship between CM Punk and Chicago.
That's really terrifying to think about. I don't want my mind to stay on that point for too long. So anyway, Paige does introduce Alicia Fox, who I was surprised that she has the win-loss record she did this month, Ashton. But then again, I don't keep up with WWE all of their programs because they're so oversaturated in 2014. Because it feels like forever since I've seen Alicia Fox. Really
Yeah,
feels like a long
it was
time.
probably because she's 3-1. So going into tonight, she was 2-1. So obviously, I don't have the actual pages, and I didn't record what shows the wins and losses and stuff were on. I just have the numbers in front of me of what the wins and losses are. So I'm guessing that most of Alicia Fox's stuff was on SmackDown and Superstars.
Yeah, and I would even say Superstars, because even with me not actively watching SmackDown, I would always read the breakdowns and the reports.
That's
And I
true.
don't remember Alicia
Yeah.
Fox being listed. So I think it must have been Superstars victories, which I don't keep an ear to the ground on
I feel
at
like
all.
I feel like I remember the first show that I went over, which would have been on September 1st, involved Alicia Fox defeating Emma in a one-on-one match. I think that might have been on like a main event or Superstars or something like that. So I think they might have even had 2 matches where Alicia Fox went over. But regardless, yeah, she's at 3-1 now for the month, just like Layla L.
Yeah, there you go. And you know what? I'm happy for Alicia. I think she's one of those. How can I put this without sounding foolish?
Underrated.
She might be like I guess that Christian, that like go-to hand, just to kind of insert her into anything, just to give her.
Oh,
something to do, but she can
I've
pull it
said
off.
multiple times she is the Dolph Ziggler of the Divas division.
Yeah, for the selling, but I think also where she just seems kind of fluid in any role, because again, we hadn't seen her on main TV
Right, and
for a while.
also because she's a wonderful troll.
Yeah. I just feel like this is such a great spot for her, and it's great to see her in a spot at all because, yeah, you and I definitely, I mean, you have always been somewhat high on her, crediting her for her selling and her certain offenses.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe
That's
Christian
nice.
is the better comparison because it seems like Christian is more of a troll than Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, definitely.
With the whole
Especially
one more
this-
match thing.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Edge, I'm all out. I need one more match. And then, like, a couple weeks later, he's like, hey, Edge, I've been lighting candles, but I need one more match. And then, like, just constantly coming up with excuses to say it, even if he doesn't actually mean it.
Really, when I was fishing for a comparison, it's just to say that I think Alicia Fox is a very dependable hand, and I know that's how Christian's been referred to in the past. And the idea that they go to her for this, I'm happy for her. So I think this is going to be pretty interesting if she gets any deeper involvement, which I don't know. I mean, are the Bellas going to intersect with
Hey,
this
man.
anymore? How convoluted is this going to get?
It's like
Yeah.
we've been saying, you can't have a total diva as your Divas champion. So they just remove them from the picture entirely, insert Alicia Fox, and we're back to our trio, which we had at Night of Champions.
Yeah, only this time I would actually be scared that they'd go with the third woman just for kicks and just to
I
really
wouldn't be
drag
scared
out
by
the
that.
final
I
count.
wouldn't mind Alicia Fox being a Divas champion at all.
Yeah, I just need to get really reintroduced to her again, and this match was a good start. It didn't really last that long.
Dude, all you need to think of when you think of Alicia Fox is Northern Lights Suplex.
Yeah, Northern Light Suplex and Temper Tantrums, which are golden.
But mostly Northern Lights Suplex.
But mostly Northern Light Suplex, yes. Unfortunately, though, despite the fact that that'll be at the forefront of my thought, she doesn't win the match that way.
No, she wins with a freaking axe kick.
Axe kick to the back, because whoever heard of doing it to the skull? Because Paige is distracting AJ, and yeah, she gets it right down the middle of her back. Oh, the pain. And she gets the pin. And it's nothing against Alicia at all. I just think the whole execution, I'm like, really?
Well, it's like she can only do it with her right leg. And if she could have done it with her left leg, because AJ was like up against the ropes. So if she could have done it with her left leg, she could have gotten closer to the ropes, which probably would have been closer to like the neck/head area. But it's like Alicia Fox is only capable of doing this axe kick with her right leg. And that's why it was so much closer to like the middle of her back.
Right.
And plus, you got to combine that with the fact that AJ is literally like 5'1", so even her torso is only like a foot long.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like, even though Alicia Fox is in the middle of AJ's back, she was only like 3 inches away from her neck. Because AJ is just so tiny.
TwitWow, where numbers and math are your friend. So yeah, she gets the kick, gets the 3 count, and then Alicia Fox produces 2 cans of, I guess, soda. They look like they were Mountain Dew, which wouldn't surprise me because
Dude, I think
they're
it
a
might have
WWE
been
sponsor.
Surge.
It was either Surge, which I've personally never even heard of, or Mountain Dew, which again wouldn't surprise me because I think they're a WWE sponsor.
You've never heard of Surge?
I've never heard of Surge.
It was super popular in the 90s, but then it got recalled because it turned your pee green.
What are we doing here?
It's making a comeback, dude. They started freaking producing it again. I'm not even joking.
Well, I have to admit, I've been bored going to the bathroom lately, so it'll be nice to know I can have my urine in all these different colors. I'm looking forward to when they release Wild Raspberry, but anyway.
Oh, God.
But what again, I ask, what are we doing here? She brings the cans into the ring.
Hey, as long as the Wild Raspberry is blue and not red, I'm accepting it, but I am not getting my pee confused with blood. That is messed up.
Yeah, believe me, I sympathize. But they douse AJ with Surge, so we have an impromptu wet t-shirt contest, and that ends the segment.